You know what we should talk about today is the trade stereotype. For whatever reason, it's certainly been a rule as long as I can remember that people want to put other people in boxes. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, just want to know sort of the pecking order, the hierarchy, where everybody fits on the scale. So you just sort of get some sort of clue on what's to be expected. And as I've said, with the tattoo thing, everybody judges everybody else. Like, that's, if you're gonna tell me you don't judge people, then you're a liar, because that's what we do. And like I say, I don't think making judgments are bad. It's just instinctual to be like, who is this dude? What is he to me? How do I navigate this relationship? And it's been fascinating to me, because I've been a plumber for 40 years, how people perceive sort of the blue collar lifestyle, mindset, what kind of boxes they place you in, and sort of what their expectations of you are. And thankfully, my parents, particularly my mother, worked really hard to sort of make sure that we were readers and educated, and that we, weren't dumb boys, for lack of a better word. And that doesn't mean I consider myself exceptionally smart or above average of any of that stuff. I do think I read a fair bit and understand a fair bit and think about a lot of things. Whatever that means to you, I don't know. But when people ask you, which is what people do when you first meet them, they're like, what do you do? And when I say I'm a plumber, you can literally see sort of the mental gymnastics that are taking place. Like, oh, I'm going to put you over here, because that's what they do. And then you sort of strike up a conversation. They're like, oh. You don't say the F word every second word. You appear to be articulate. You have a fairly decent grasp of the English language, and have some, fairly well thought out ideas. So then they might move you over one. The fascinating thing about living where I live, the trade has been wonderful to me. It's brutal and it's hard and all the rest of that stuff, but it has also provided for myself and my family a very good living. And so it has happened. The words I love the most, that have been repeated from astonishment to with astonishment to under their breath, is when they come see where I live, for whatever reason, whether they drop something off, or they're friends of my kids, or whatever the case may be, almost without fail, they're like, wow, that's not bad for a plumber. What do you do? I'm like, I'm a plumber. I work very hard for a living. And I guess the point of this whole little thing, is that can happen to you too. It is not easy, and it's not going to happen for everybody, and every path's a little bit different, for sure. But I do believe that the opportunities are there for you to shock people with sort of the lifestyle that you're able to obtain, if it's a big IF, you put in the work. And that means you're available on weekends and evenings and birthdays and Christmas and New Year's and Halloween and all that stuff. And if you're willing to put in that type of time and that type of effort, and you're good at what you do, then the dividends just sort of look after themselves. I had a friend of mine that I've known for years. He's been out to my house a few times, and for whatever reason, his wife came out to pick up her kid, or I can't remember what exactly the circumstances of it were, and she was so gobsmacked at where I live in my house that she had to take a tour. Bob, do you mind if I just take a tour of your house? This is not what I expected. And so they take you from whatever box it is and put you in another box. That is certainly something that I think, given the current climate out there of what's happening in this trade world and the shortages that are being manifest, I think those opportunities are there for you in anything that you want to do. I don't think there's any limit onto what you're able to achieve. I will say that the biggest advantage that I've had is I have been self-employed for whatever that is now, almost 28 years. And that has provided not only some exposure to significant risks, but some opportunity to capitalize on some important opportunities that would not have been possible if I was working for somebody or, whatever. If I was working for somebody, if I was an employee, the self-employment path, well fraught with all sorts of hazards. I do believe, because that's what's worked for me, if you actively do what I have suggested here many, many times, and take some business courses, get yourself an accountant and get yourself a lawyer, and are prepared to work very, very hard, there's nothing that you can't achieve with yourself. If you're gonna, and it's not for everybody. Make no mistake. Like, the self-employment path is a difficult one. There was a time I was living out here, and the washing machine broke, and it was thank goodness it was summer, because I didn't have any money to replace it. And that thing stayed broken for like 6 weeks while I was waiting for people to pay me. Those effing contractors, the general contractors that are builders, don't worry, we'll pay you. You're like family to us. I'm like, yeah, that's a weird kind of family. So if you can stomach it, if you are not risk averse and you're savvy in what you do, then I think you can achieve just about anything you want. I certainly, as I think I said it the other day with my English teacher that thought I would never amount to anything. I have certainly, in my own head, surpassed what I thought was possible from taking the trade route. And probably most of that's due to timing, and being in the right place at the right time, and being ready to accept those opportunities and quote unquote risks for the benefit of myself and my family. So my thoughts, not yours, is go out there and shock the frickin' world, man. Like, shock them with what you can do. There's not a better time to be a trades person. There just isn't. That doesn't mean you're not going to have tough times and that things aren't going to suck and you're going to have to work really hard and you're going to get taken advantage of and people are going to treat you poorly and judge you for your tattoos and judge you because you're some dumb blue collar worker. If you can forge through all that BS, then there's nothing that you can't achieve. And that's how I feel about my whole life. And the message that I continually share with my boys is like, there's no golden path here, but if you're willing to put in the effort, then you will reap the rewards. And I think that's what it is. And I don't doubt for anybody that's sort of established themselves in this game hasn't sort of had the same reaction from people like, oh, wow, I did not expect uh, to find you in the circumstances that you are in. So go out there and make it happen. The world is yours. You just have to go and grab it and hang on to it and submit it to your will. And it's not, I mean, people talk about manifesting stuff. Sure, think of positive thoughts and all the rest of that. But, some of it is just holding on for dear life at the end of the day. So I wish you luck and success in whatever you do. I'm going up against 12 minutes here. So anyway, those are my thoughts and not yours. Good luck in your journey, and till next time. Out.